What's up, everybody? I'm the Crypto Crow. Love from Ohio. Just kind of an impromptu kind of dealio. See what happens. Move the chat box up here. Kind of playing with settings a little bit. Figured I'd have some more fun. Why crash? I don't know. What's up, Big Crow? What's up, Nelson Tapia? This live comes at the perfect moment. What's up, Felix? Taylor Bayer? Good evening from Scotland. Welcome. You'll notice I shaved, so you're going to see a lot more gray. I just woke up a little bit ago. I was up until 4:30 a.m. And my wife took all the kids out because she is competing in a ballroom competition today. And so she decided to take all the kids so they could kind of see ballroom dance and show them what it's all about. So I got the afternoon to myself. I was up last night getting a whole bunch of models together to paint. Look at this. Ooh. All kinds of nerdiness right here. Got to paint all those. It's a list. It's a kind of a tournament list. Retribution. So let's see what we've got. What's going on today? So those of you that watched my first video let's watch Bitcoin crash. And it did. I mean, pretty much right from the time I went live, we watched Bitcoin drop like $200. And I didn't buy in on that low because I thought, well, if it went this low so quickly, it's likely going to go even lower, and it didn't. It basically hit support and started going back up. And I realized and I even told everybody in that thing, I was like, I was trying to sell at 5,300 and make a swing trade to try and improve my Bitcoin position. It just didn't work out. Oh yeah, here's my shirt. Crow's Nest X. Got the crow on there, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, future money, all that stuff. There's only one in existence. I just made one for myself, but you'll be able to get them at some point soon. I just I missed the mark. I wanted to sell, but we had to go see a movie. And by the time I got home from Dumbo, I got Dumboed out of a $300 profit right there. And so if I would have sold at if I would have sold at 53 and sold at the low, I would have made a $1,500 or a $500 swing trade off of one Bitcoin. And I missed both of them because I was nervous. I was being greedy. I should have just taken profit. And that's a whole part of the learning is, when good is good enough. The greedier you are, the more likely you are to screw up your own trade. And that's where emotion comes into it. Greed is an emotion in a lot of sense. And some of you guys were like, hey, have you looked at the market God indicator? And I'm like, no, I haven't. I've never heard of that because I've been doing the pivot, the pivot reversal. And you'll see if you look at my screen behind me, that I have the market God indicator going. While it's cool, it gives you more signals and it seems to be pretty accurate. If you're trying to back test or you're trying to look at the history of it's not doing any. I mean, it tells you, buy, sell, but it doesn't tell you exactly where in that candle it gave you the signal. I was actually thinking of having the guy that created it on the channel just to kind of talk about his indicator. Why not? But I haven't reached out to him yet. And so that's kind of where I'm at with that. A buddy of mine, very cool dude. I've known him for years now. He reached out to me and he's like, hey man, I really think you're onto something with this pivot reversal and the Ichimoku and all this. And yes, I did buy back in. I forgot to tell you that. I bought back in at 5,011 or, where did I buy back in? I announced it I bought back in I ended up making a little bit of profit off of the trade. Nothing significant at all. And I announced it in my Telegram channel when I did it. But nothing crazy. And so I could have done a lot better. See, the thing of it is it's difficult to not play both sides of the fence, in the sense that you want to take emotion out of it. So things like greed, obviously being one. Even though I'm the least greedy person, I feel like I'm the most generous person I could possibly be without, going broke. But when you're making a trade, that's the whole point of it, right? You're wanting to improve your position as best you can. So it's hard to eliminate those emotions when it's your gut telling you, I think it's going to go in this direction or the next. You kind of can't have one without the other. Had I listened to my gut both times, I would have done very well. But because I'm ignoring the charts, kind of in a way, I would have done very well because of that fact. Welcome, Jami. And so this is such a tricky kind of thing. I mean, it really is. And I'm still learning, obviously, and I'm still trying to get better. Let's see what you guys have to say in chat. Maybe I need to... I've changed my setup around a little bit here, so I keep losing my mouse. Let me see. Here's the chat box. Here's the chat box. Here's the chat box. Da, 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 da. Sunny Decree went live, but you're my first choice always. Oh, well, I appreciate that. I watched some of their videos, like Ivan on Tech and Sunny Decree and these guys. His accent trips me out. Every V is a wuh. I mean, they're cool. These guys come online like clockwork the same time every day. I mean, this is their job, and I get it. I wish I were more able to do something like that, but I just can't. 4,200 one more time before we take off. Well, and that's kind of what we're here to discuss a bit. Hold on real quick. My wife is texting me. Oh. Can't share that. Yes, I'm dipping. Deep Onion. Tone Vays got locked out of exchange for making his trade public. Just FYI. Don't know if it's true. Locked out of his exchange for making his trade public. That's interesting. I don't see how that would be true. Nobody knows where he's making his trades. Nobody. That was the. It's so funny. God, and I hate to sound this way, but a part of me, when I see guys like Tone Vays, I know I'm probably going to catch some hell for this, but this is just my own. This is just something I think about in the back of my head when I listen to these guys. First of all, if I guess there's reason for it, but so apparently Tone Vays is not in the market. He doesn't trade. All he does is travel. But then he announces that he shorted Bitcoin at like 50, whatever it was. How did you short Bitcoin if you're not even in the market? And the only reason to announce shorting something to your audience is if you're trying to get it lower anyway. And then to say, well, I was locked out of my exchange for announcing the trade, that doesn't make any sense at all. Just something about that just doesn't seem right. I guess my point is to me, it sounds like, you've got everybody on Tone Vays' channel has been calling for like a $1,500 Bitcoin forever now, for months and months. And it doesn't seem to be happening. And so to me, I just kind of felt like that might be one last ditch effort to try and get people to sell and drive the price lower so that he can buy in cheaper. That's just what I've never really known Tone Vays to be dishonest in any ways. From BitMEX. Okay, gotcha. That stinks. Yeah, I don't use BitMEX, so and that's the thing. These guys are trading with leverage and all kinds of stuff. I don't mess with any of that. I'm just not. I'm not about that. I don't understand it yet. I don't know that I'll ever, even if I did fully understand it, I don't know if I'll ever dive into like trading with leverage. If you check the chart of February 24th, we're looking similar, then we'll drop 25%. Well, so, okay. So a lot of people are, here's the thing, and I don't want it to sound like I have anything against Tone Vays. I really don't. I just, when somebody's big mantra is that everything but Bitcoin is shit, and you're making these public swing trades and so forth, but yet, in the next breath, you're saying I'm not even in the market and I haven't been in the market because all I do is travel. I just kind of have to wonder, what is your true intention? What is your actual motive when you're constantly calling for a lower Bitcoin in every video? And then you have other people who are agreeing with you and saying, oh, it's going to go lower. It's going to go to 1,500. It's going to go to 2,000. And I feel like, Coinbase has admitted recently that the bottom could be in. And I only dip on videos when I know I'm going to be on for a while. So, let's see here. Thought we were watching it crash. Shows what you know. This is just a continuation of yesterday's video. Tonebase has admitted recently that the bottom could be in already, but he's still betting on below $3,000. Again, like, it's easy to say when you're not in the market. He like, to me, to keep calling for a $3,000 or $1,000 Bitcoin or $1,500 Bitcoin, it's easy to say if you don't have a position, especially when your viewership is consistently growing and people are paying attention to what you're saying. It promotes a lot of people to sell at a high, driving the price down. 63.60 by Sunday evening. One more dip before bull trend ensues. Said the same thing in his chat, but he didn't even counter that he does trade. He just trolled that I watch all his videos. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not sure what that meant. All right. So we're getting a nice little pump going on right now. So here's the question: where's Bitcoin going? I'm gonna be straight up. Here's the one thing, and this is the reason why I bought back in when I did, and I discontinued my swing trade. I agree on your sentiments. However, Vase just shorted Bitcoin and 52.70 to be fair, and maybe he did, and that's cool. I guess Tone is just out to make waves. He makes money off of his speaking fees, and that's cool. I don't fault him for that at all. Again, I want to make sure it's clear. I don't really have anything against Tone Vays. I mean, he's cracked some jokes at me about stuff. I don't even remember what it was. Something stupid. And I was just like, what? Oh, blockchain. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. When guys are constantly calling for a low, and I feel like they're kind of ignoring what's actually happening in the market, I just feel like there's an ulterior motive. That's all. Maybe that's the way he truly feels. Maybe he truly believes that we're going to see a $2,000 Bitcoin. Maybe he feels that way. I have a hard time believing with it. So, I think ultimately, it doesn't matter what chart you look at this point, we're bullish across the board. We keep bouncing off of support lines. So this is a 4-hour chart here. No, I don't currently use Profit Trailer. I have been using Aquitas though, making a little profits. It's hard to make big profits in a ranging market though. This is a 1 hour. 1 hour, we're still priced above a bullish cloud. I mean, all signs are pointing to bullish. 30-minute. I mean, the lower the time frame. I mean, even on a 30-minute now, we're above a red cloud. But it's, Ichimoku is predicting in the future a bullish cloud, at which point, it's basically trying to say price is going to be above a bullish cloud in the future, but we're on a 30-minute chart. 5-minute chart, still above bullish. Now, right now, it's saying to sell. This is the market God indicator. It's basically saying to sell right now. So Why is it saying that? And that the only problem I have with this market God indicator, I would say that market God indicator is really good if you're just scalping hard. Like if you're just scalping for little bits of profit each and every trade. The only problem is that trading fees can dip into some of those profits. And when I look at some of these really small trades, I guess over time they will add up. But ultimately, every one of these tiny little trades, even if you make a little bit of profit, you're paying capital gains tax on those. So, it's just kind of one of those things. It's do what you will, but ultimately the profit, I like to go for a wider range. So it basically said to sell in this candle and then it turned around. And yeah, you'll notice I'm using, I'm looking at Tone's Tom DeMark indicator because he was nice enough to give me a copy of it. And I do appreciate that because I reference it. I'm referencing a lot of different indicators. And at some point I'm going to narrow things down, but I am ultimately trying to crack some codes here. And I've been painting some models to like chill out. But I am working on a system to try and crack a code. I'm trying to crack the pivot reversal strategy code, and that's what I'm trying to work on. I'm trying to basically establish common denominators in price action based off of where the pivot is making its claims or making its pivot announcements, and that's basically what I'm working on doing. And so, but if you look at just about any, let's look at the day. This is the day chart. Still, price action on a day chart, price is still above a bearish cloud at this point. I just, are you long or trading? If you're long, I'd get in now. I'm long now. I'm long, and I have been long. Like I've been holding my Bitcoin in place now for. I mean, I haven't touched it, for like a year. Like it's been a year since I've done anything with my Bitcoin. And so I just think that at this point, look, if the price, yes, I am. And that's basic. And I do that when I do long videos. At this point, there's a lot of stuff going on. And I've seen all of the information related to why the spike, the BitMEX insurance policy stuff, and the big bull who spent $20 million over 3 different exchanges. The thing of it is had this been an organic market pump, then I would have been certain the price was going to drop. But it wasn't really an organic pump. It was a whale. It was a couple groups that basically one chose to buy in because he just wanted to get his Bitcoin before the market sentiment really turned around and we started on a solid uptrend. And then the other one was basically an insurance policy. And that's the thing. It's because of that the RSI to me doesn't mean as much at the moment. And the fact that I feel like if anything, we would just keep ranging with little pumps up. I believe the bottom has been met. I don't think we're ever going back to $3,000 from here. I think that you also have to account for the fact that what's up, Chris A? You also have to account for the fact that a lot of people are still holding, and when I see people, they go back and they look at the old charts and they look at the old price. Says the whale was Bitmain pumping the price to cover their debts to prevent bankruptcy. It could be. That could be too. There's a lot of stuff going on, but what I see is there's so much bullish activity going on in the market. I think that the sentiment now is gradually starting to change. People are starting to realize, wow, Bitcoin crashed to $3,000, but now we're seeing $5,000 already. I need to take another look at this. Like that it's not dead, that it's not going anywhere, that the market isn't dead for good, that there's still plenty of opportunity. And now, because of that, people are starting to see that just because the price has crashed from $20,000 down to $3,000, that it doesn't mean anything. It's a cycle. And the more people are realizing, okay, this doesn't mean Bitcoin's dead. Because anytime I talk to a layman who doesn't really understand crypto, they think, oh, I thought crypto was dead. That's all I hear. I hear it over and over and over with every newbie that I talk to. I thought crypto was dead. I thought that died out. Didn't it get to like 20 grand and fall to the floor? And it's like, no, that's not what happened. And that's the thing. It's educating people on exactly what the situation is. This market cycle, the halving cycles, all of that. And people don't seem to get it. And so because of that, I think people are now starting to get more educated. Like, and with the exchange launch, you know, are you planning a counterattack on Doug Polk? He didn't really attack me. Like, I saw the video. I thought it was funny. Honestly, I thought it was cute that he even threw me in that video, to be honest with me, or would be honest with you. Crow, heard anything from Utrust lately? The charts aren't looking great. Look, I mean, they're still active, and you know, I still like them, and I think they're still doing well. I did an interview recently with Nuno, and we talked about a lot of stuff. Doug Polk should just stick to poker. He's not fat anymore, by the way. You know, I noticed he's lost a lot of weight, and I think he looks pretty good. I made a joke in yesterday's video about his hair having more volume than he does, because his hair is bigger than him. One of these days, I'm gonna do a meme video of a bunch of YouTubers, like Crypto Beatles. I saw one of his ads. I just thought it was hilarious because he does this over and over and over, you know, as he's talking. And I'm like, you can power a wind turbine with that. Like, it is over and over and over and over and over. There are a bunch of people I want to crack some fun at one of these days. I love Beatles, but yeah. This has been a learning curve for us all. Learn about the 4-year trading cycles and you'll get the big picture. Exactly. Well, and that's the thing. People that look at cryptocurrency as a very difficult, complicated type of science or technology, they don't take the time to really fully understand what all this stuff means and what's coming. And those are the people who miss the mark. And that's the dumb money that the rest of us profit from, to be quite honest with you. It's the people that really start to understand, that really dive in and continue learning and educating themselves, that are basically positioned for a really solid year. I'm going to take this out. It's starting to annoy me. I love you anyway, though. Well, I love you too. Do you think this will pull back to the $4,500 range? I do think that that's possible. I think at some point, but I don't necessarily think that's going to happen quickly. To be honest, to me, what I'm looking at volume, looking at the sentiment, looking at the charts, looking at everything, it looks like people are buying in because they're expecting this thing to turn around. An 8-foot ogre made fun of the small folk. I'm only 7 foot. Now, will there be a retracement? RSI, even on a daily chart, is really high right now. It's at 86, and that's never sustainable. So we're likely going to get a pullback of some kind soon. I do think so. But as of right now, but at the same time, I could be wrong. That's the thing. Nobody really knows what the hell's happening right now. But we keep getting these pumps, and it's just, it's not organic. It's not, they're people that are buying in mass. And if I'm to guess, and I've said this now for at least 6 months, when the over-the-counter market starts to dry up, these big whales that want to start getting back into Bitcoin are not going to have a choice other than to go through exchanges. And when they do, it's going to drive the price up. And you know, and I think honestly, a lot of the over-the-counter dealers are stupid to be selling at these prices. I think a lot of these over-the-counter traders, they probably know, you know, the market sentiment's changing. Selling now is kind of foolish. You know, selling Bitcoin at 6,000 when they expect it to go to 3, that's a smart move on their part. So they were able to unload a lot. But in the market the way it is now, and everything's pointing to the moon, and everything is like, look, I'm not overzealous right now. I'm not looking at this thinking, oh my gosh, we're going to be at 20 grand next month. I'm not looking at it like that at all. But I do think that I think we're starting to really, I would be willing to confirm a bullish market sentiment. I don't think we're going to get a big parabolic bull rally in the very near future. I think if anything, maybe we can rise up. Maybe we touch on, I mean, we don't have anything in the way. That's the thing. I mean, maybe we touch on 5,500 and we get a retracement back to 45, and that's the big last dip before things turn around for good. I don't know. Maybe that'll be a soundbite that gets quoted in the future. Do you own BCH? I do not. Retail is pushing up prices. Yeah, I mean, one more $1,000 pump, and it's definitely going to be big news. Yeah, it's like, I don't think we're going to be crashing. But every time I say something, the exact opposite happens. Pro, have you used BitMax? No. Do you own Cardano? Yes. I love Cardano. Why no BCH? Because I don't appreciate their marketing tactics. Honestly, I probably shouldn't say that. The first thing that comes to mind when I think of Bitcoin Cash's marketing tactics is I feel like they're raping crypto newbies, in the sense that they're forcing themselves on newcomers that don't know the difference, and they're not giving people an educated choice. You know, in a lot of cases, if you try to buy Bitcoin, you could very easily end up buying Bitcoin Cash and not even know that that's what you did. That's why I think you see a big pop in Bitcoin Cash when Bitcoin rises in the retail markets. And I don't like that. I don't really agree with that whole. I feel like they're misleading in a lot of ways. And you know what? In some cases, yes, I do still have Dragon Chain. Even though I haven't dove into them recently, I plan on doing another series. Like this week, I'm probably going to be doing at least 3 or 4 more Where Are They Now videos. And I'm going to be diving into some of these other projects, Dragon Chain included, because I want to know what the hell they're doing. I haven't seen much of anything from them lately, so I want to know what's happening. The French are buying a lot of Bitcoin. Okay. This is not the beginning of the bull market. This is the end period of the bear market. The trend is beginning to turn. Well, I mean, it's the same thing. For the most part, to me, it's the same thing. Now, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, XRP available for a bunch of Europeans through certificates, so that there are no more taxes on all the wins. Ooh. Interesting. What chart are you using right now? I'm on TradingView, and we're looking at a day chart. Looking at a 1 day. Switch over to the 4-hour. This is a 4-hour chart right now. Four-hour chart. Pretty sure BTC will crash back down to 3,500. All right, so Goon alerts. Let me ask you this. Do you think it's going to crash down to $3,500 because you watch a bunch of TA guys telling you that that's what's going to happen? Or is there a personal reason that you believe, based off of your own research, that that's going to happen? And I ask you that question not to sound like a smartass. I ask you that because, to be quite frank with you, I believe that there are a lot of TA guys with big followings out there. And I think that some of their calls are kind of self-serving. And the one thing that I am getting into, I forgot. I took them upstairs. There's one last, there's 2 more indicators that I'm really trying to wrap my head around, which is Elliott Wave and Fibonacci. And those are things that I dove into. And ultimately, I would love to see, Elliott Wave to me is like long-term, short-term, mid-term kind of understanding where the market's mentality is. Ichimoku is for trending markets, not ranging. You've got pivot reversal, which is also really for trending markets and not ranging markets. But if you can really, if you can, RSI is more short term, I think, to me. I mean, it's kind of a combination of both, depending on the time frame you're looking at. And then Fibonacci, you know, so I'm trying to really get a solid understanding as to these different indicators. And I'll sit down here in my office and I'll paint models while I'm listening to, you know, videos about all of these different indicators. And I just listen to them, and I'll listen to them more than once. I'll listen to it once, I'll restart it, listen to it again, and pick up new things. And then I write notes, and I'm just doing a lot of kind of edumacation, trying to educate myself on these indicators and try to really better understand stuff. So, but the one thing is that if I had 200,000 subscribers, I would not be touting. And this is the thing. It's like, I'm kind of, you know, when, you know, during the big ICO boom and everything, a lot of people came to me because they knew even if I were doing a paid review, I would tell everybody straight up if a project was garbage. Like, I am not using my channel as a self-serving mechanism, in the sense that, like, I don't go out, buy cryptocurrency, talk about it on my channel, wait for it to pump, and then sell it on everybody's head. I've never once done that ever. And I can prove it if I ever needed to. I just don't use my channel as a self-serving mechanism in that sense. Sure, I'll make a living. If I can make a living with my channel and do paid promos and stuff like that, sure, I'm about that, as long as it's not a crap project. But I don't, you know, I want to be able to learn more about this technical analysis stuff, so that if I feel that somebody is putting out a bunch of self-serving crap to try and drive the price in either direction for the sake of their own gain, I want to be able to see that, understand it, and be able to counter that. And that's honestly what I want to do. I mean, you know, and of course I'd love to be able to swing trade more and just have more fun and feel like I'm more useful to you guys that watch me on a regular basis. Because let's face it, there isn't a whole lot of need right now for fundamental analysis in a market that's been bare for a year and a half. And it's a lot of these technical indicators, these technical guys, these analyzers who are, you know, they seem to be a lot more useful, and I don't like feeling useless. Will Litecoin break $100 next week? I do not know, because I don't watch Litecoin. Hey Crow, have you seen that we have touched Delta first time since 2015? Go to the site, Wood Bull charts and Bitcoin price models. Choose Delta, bottom in, show everyone. Appreciate the honesty, Crow. Mad props. Thank you. Are you a fan of Litecoin, Crow? I'm not really a fan, or it's my coffee. I'm drinking my coffee. You know, I tell everybody I drink my Propel at night, and then I refill it with coffee when I wake up. I just like having something hot, especially I've been having kind of a cold lately. Past few days. I think it's starting to get a little better. I guess I'll approve that, even though it was flagged by YouTube. Francis, naughty words. Yeah, my channel is not a dildo, Francis. Yeah, I don't have anything against Litecoin at all, really. I think it's going to do well, and I think that, you know, I really like the fact that they sponsored UFC, and I know, like, oh my gosh, Ben Askren. I know Ben Askren apparently wanted to be paid for his UFC fight in Litecoin, and I don't think they were able to facilitate that. I don't think, but I dig it, and I think it's cool. I think there's a space for everything. And that's the thing, you know, I see a lot of these Bitcoin maximalists. They just constantly shit on all of the altcoins out there. I just totally disagree with that mentality, man. That's like saying the dollar is the only real currency. Quarters, nickels, pennies, and dimes are all shit. You know, it's just like, it's just silly. It's silly. Craig Wright reminds me of Darren Cross in the first Ant-Man. He thinks he's special, but has completely wrong vision. Just turned on laptop and here you are. I guess I'll have to watch back to find out if Bitcoin is going to crash. I'll tell you right now, I don't think it's going to crash in the immediate future. I mean, it could very well retrace 100 bucks or two. I think we're going to see some ebb and flow, even though it's ultimately just a ranging market right now. It's kind of what I'm seeing. We got one big solid pump, and now it's ranging again, and it's basically doing what it was doing before the pump. Oh, bless me. Are you going to the Cardano Summit? No, I'm not. Nobody asked me to go, and I've got a lot going on, so I'd like to. I don't even know where it is. If it's outside of the U.S., I don't even. Thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. If it's outside of the U.S., I don't even have a passport yet. If there's a very strong demand, it won't crash. Goon alerts. Oh, you tipped me too. Thank you. I do my own research. You'll notice it on my channel. I actually sold my Lambo for a quick trade, then shorted Bitcoin at 15K to 4K. I still plan to continue shorting at 5,400. Don't use studies either. I mean, look, dude, that's great. I don't have a Lambo to sell, so, good on you. I don't know what to say. I mean, that's cool. It's currently at 51.85. When I hit the live button, it was at like 5,100, I think. What do you guys think about Ethereum Classic? I think it's going to keep pumping. Robert Carr. Yeah, so I figure I will show. And every once in a while lately, I've been coming here. I'll go to TradingView and I'll see what some of these other guys have to say. Magic Poop Cannon. I read his analysis sometimes, and he definitely considers himself a TA god. I love crypto. Jacob doesn't seem to like him very much. I'm not sure why. This guy, 30% drop on Bitcoin incoming, get ready to buy lower. And he does a pretty interesting analysis that I saw. I was looking at this a little earlier. He's basically saying it's time to short. And he references the RSIs, basically the RSI being where this is right now. Every time it hits that, it goes for a really big dump. The only problem that I see with this is you have to remember the RSI was shot up, not by organic trading, it was shot up notably by BitMEX and a guy who basically dropped $20 million into Bitcoin all in one fell swoop. That shot the RSI up. So if I were to take that trade out and consider we are where we were before that all happened, the RSI is somewhere probably down here technically, and until we've ranged long enough that the actual organic market has caught up to that price activity. And then at that point, I feel like RSI will be more relative. At this point, I don't necessarily believe that the RSI is as relative as it was prior to this big pump. That's what I'm talking about. You can't even see it because of my big old noggin. So while I understand the sentiment here and I understand what he's trying to say, I just don't necessarily think that that's the case for this particular point in time. Don't tell me I didn't warn you on March 8th about this first breakout. The fractal was there. However, those who missed this week's huge spike on Bitcoin shouldn't worry. Based on the one-day RSI, another pullback should be coming soon. Again, if that RSI spike wasn't because of what had happened all in one day. As seen on the chart, since the price action crossed over the 200 AMA during the last bear market that practically signaled the end of the bear cycle, every time the RSI got over 83, Bitcoin USD declined at least 30%. In today's cycle, depending on where BTC makes the top, this puts the pullback to at least $3,800. Traders, investors should be alert as the current consolidation accumulation period will offer a few buy signals, entries, before the next bull market completely takes over and leaves the current lows behind. The low is such an example with a 1 week RSI and major multiple give the final buy signals within June and October. Some evidence that the cycle's bottom is in and we are on the early stages of the new bull cycle. Now, this I did think was kind of interesting. Basically comparing, now with 2015 and the start of the bull cycle. So, look, I mean, there's some credence to this. I think it's definitely possible. Are we going to see a pullback? I think we are going to see one. I just don't think it's going to be like right this minute. I think it's going to take a little bit of time for the market to kind of establish its new base. Hey, Crow, what do you think of IOST? I like IOST, and I know that they just came out with some new tech that I think sounds pretty good. Goon alerts. I'm not a douche, but thanks. Just being real. Oh, I don't think you're a douche at all, man. It's all good. Look, and the fact of the matter is that when it comes to technical analysis, a lot of guys know a lot more about it than I do. I just try to make sense of what I feel is real. And that's ultimately what I do. Oh, thanks, Goon alerts. I appreciate it, man. I don't try to fluff. I don't try to make big, bold claims to try and get people pumped or depressed in either direction. I just call stuff how I see it, making sense of things as best I can. And I make no promises. I don't promise to be an expert. I don't promise to be anything special. Just a guy with a, fairly decent head on my shoulders, but I'm always still learning. And that's pretty much what I do here. I sent you a super chat, Robert Carr said. What am I missing? I don't know why my nose is like giving me trouble. Scrolling all the way up, I'm not seeing anything. Oh, thanks, Robert Carr. Okay, I see it. You just didn't have a question in it or anything. Okay, I'm going to scroll back up here. I'm going to go back to the chart just so that we're not missing anything. Honestly, the more shorts we get wrecked, the better off we're going to be, because that just means less people are going to be buying from the CME short, the CME futures, and hopefully that'll close down too. And then I think we'll really start seeing some. That's the thing. people in the market that try to say futures don't have anything to do with the price action of Bitcoin is they're either just not. There's no other excuse for it other than they just don't get it. I just can't see Bitcoin passing 6,000 right now. It is not the right time. I enjoy this run and trade it, but it will retrace. So many altcoins still have to disappear. Now, that is something that I don't think is really going to be relevant to Bitcoin's rise. A lot of people are saying, oh, well, Bitcoin's not going to have its next bull run until a lot of these altcoins take a huge shit or go away. They're never going away. Altcoins are never going away. It's just not it. And the same thing I've said, and I had Tonebase on my channel, and I told him, I said, look, while you look at altcoins as like they're all shit coins, they're all scams, they're all this or that, I look at altcoins as priests. It's like you have Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin's the Pope, and Bitcoin has a mission. And by the way, I will say to those of you who have not seen it, that Bitcoin and Friends episode was great. I was like shocked at how good that was. Coon-ass podcast. Thank you, man. It was absolutely. I watched the whole thing. I was like, oh my gosh, I wish there was another one right now because I want to see where this picks up. The way they have Vitalik, he sounds like the dude from Napoleon Dynamite. He wants to be a cage fighter. It was just great, man. I loved it. I need to share it in my community. I meant to, but I'm not logged into a lot of my community stuff down here where I stream. I just try to keep everything secure as best I can. Like I don't do like a lot of web browsing or anything. I don't check email. I don't do anything down here where I stream. It's all cut off from the rest of everything else. But anyway, but that was really good. What the hell point was I trying to make? Oh, yeah, like Bitcoin is like the Pope, and then you have all these altcoins, and they're like the priests, right? Each priest, they have their own congregation, and they're all drawing people in to one grander cause. And, you know, not that cryptocurrency is a religion, obviously, but, you know, you're going to have this priest did something bad, this priest did something great. This priest is really good at educating people. This priest is really good. I mean, it's like that's the way I look at it's the way I look at crypto. At altcoins have a place in the space. And I think that it's going to be a lot of these altcoin projects that draw in a lot more people than Bitcoin does. And while Bitcoin is the term used for crypto in the eyes of a lot of people, it's like in the movie The Crow. Mother is the name of God in the minds and mouths of small children, right? It's kind of like, I don't even know if I quoted that accurately, but, you know, it's the same principle. You know, Bitcoin is the name of crypto in the eyes of newcomers. They don't understand these altcoin projects. But what I think is going to happen is you're going to have a lot of people using these altcoins and dApps and things like that and not even realize it. And then once they realize they're actually using stuff on the blockchain, which is one of the new technologies that IOST has come out recently. And I didn't get too deep into it. I read the article, but basically they have a new dApp that people are going to be using and not even realize they're using crypto. And I think that that's the kind of stuff that's going to drive more people to Bitcoin. And what's going to happen is if you've got an altcoin project or an altcoin representing a project that pulls more newcomers into the crypto space and they start learning more about the crypto space, what are they going to do? Well, they're going to likely use Bitcoin as their store of value if they decide to get into any kind of trading. And so, you know, the altcoins help support Bitcoin in a lot of ways. And I don't think the altcoin market's getting a lot of credit for that. If the latest purchase that rallied the market last week was bought on exchanges, does that mean OTC options are running out? That's the thing. I think that they might be, because why else would somebody spend $20 million over 3 exchanges to buy Bitcoin if they could just make a legitimate over-the-counter deal with somebody and get it that way and not suffer any slippage? It's the same thing I've been saying in all of my Bitcoin videos and my pricing videos and my Bitcoin to $380,000 and all this other stuff. I didn't even see how many people I had watching live right now. 224 liking, only 47 likes. Weak. I know. Nobody likes my videos. Sad. Yeah, that's the way I see it. He needs to wake up. The markets are manipulated by a few individuals who need to be stripped of their wealth. In some cases, that's true. Laugh my ass off. Defending the name calling really makes you seem more real. Defending the name calling. I don't understand what you mean, Brandon. Old Pony said bottom in. Tone Base said 70%. We go down. Would love to see that bet. Okay. The big guys can and will start their own bull run. Be in or miss out. I think that the bull run is going to start off of the back of some major news, whether it's an ETF. And that's the thing. A lot of people are like, oh, ETF, it doesn't have to happen for a bull run. It doesn't. But what a lot of these whales want to do is they like to try and use, let's put it this way. Let's say I had, I don't know, $50 million. Maybe I already hold, $100 million in Bitcoin. I don't know. And I could pump the value of my holdings using 50 million. And that 50 million is going to drive up the overall value of my $100 million worth of Bitcoin to 200 million. Okay. It's worth it for me to pump the market. However, if I wait for a positive market sentiment and I wait until a time when more people are more likely to buy back in, and help me drive the value of Bitcoin up, it then makes that $50 million worth of a pump, and it takes what I need to put into Bitcoin to drive the price up, and maybe it knocks $20 million off or $25 million. And so a lot of these guys who want to pump Bitcoin, they want to start a bull run, they want to start this cycle over again. They want to make sure that the market sentiment is such that people are willing to buy back into the market after the recent crash. It's not so recent at this point, but for some of us who are here pretty much every day with our faces buried in it, it still feels kind of recent. And B, they want to make sure that the press and media and the controlling powers are willing to ride the wave too and start pumping it. So, Sup Crow, sold my Bitcoin at 50.25, waiting on to go back to 4,200 this coming week. It will consolidate. We shall see. Uh-oh, now I got the podcast account on here now. If TA worked perfectly, we'd all be rich. Price doesn't always follow indicators, especially in a parabolic uptrend. Absolutely right. That's the thing. And that's why almost every TA guy you see always says, well, I expect it could go up to 5,500, but it could go down to 4,500. No shit. That's what I don't understand. It's like you're not really predicting anything. You're just stating the obvious and drawing a bunch of lines on a fucking chart. And people eat that shit up. And I just don't understand it. I also think it will be 2 months or so. Yeah. It's likely very true. What did I see? What is it? The Golden Cross is expected to come by September. And that is apparently when everybody is expected to really start seeing a giant uptrend. So but in how far can we still compare 2015 to 2019 possible run? So much has changed in 4 years. 2018 was so bullish and as in news, besides a few hacks. Here's the thing that we have to understand is that every time Bitcoin makes a run, when the market crashes, there are still going to be more people holding through that bear market than there were the previous cycle. And so, and I haven't prepared anything to kind of demonstrate that. But it doesn't take long to figure it out. You know, every bottom is going to be higher than the bottom of the last period. And because there are more people who have bought in and they're holding, they're not selling at a loss. They're just going to wait for the next cycle. And they're patient with it because they didn't invest more than they could afford to lose. And that's really what they're doing. They're just holding. And there are more people holding during this bear run than the bear market than there were people holding during the last bear market, which is going to give us everything is going higher. You know, if you look at the grand trend of Bitcoin since its inception, it's still a pretty parabolic uptrend the entire way. These little bull runs are just divots on the the EKG, if you will. Dick Insiders in chat. Gay for Crow. What's up? Any updates on the key? No updates yet, but I will be working on them. There's so many. I mean, keep in mind, I've got like 30 something projects that I still need to dive into here very soon. They all say it can go up or down or go sideways. Right, exactly. It's just like, it's a good thing you know exactly what you're doing. That's why I follow you. Will Bitcoin crash with a civil war? Interesting question. What would happen if there were a civil war? I think ultimately no. I would suggest that a civil war. The one thing that I do ponder sometimes. Bitcoin's rising on a 4-hour. That's the 4-hour chart we're looking at behind me, so you know. I don't necessarily think much about a civil war, but what I do think about is North Korea. And I think, what if North Korea or some other power were to hit a big part of the country, like the USA or another country, with some big EMP bombs or some big EMP blast? Because I don't think that if there's another world war, I don't really think that it's going to be a nuclear situation. I think that if there's another world war, I think it's going to be a technological war. And if anything, it's already kind of going on. And I honestly do believe that cryptocurrency could potentially play a significant role in that technological war. And that's one of the reasons why I want to see more going on. I want to see more going on with proper regulation, more clearly defined regulation, things like that. I don't want America to fall behind everybody else in this race of crypto technological advancement. That kind of scares me to a certain extent, because I believe that the more people, the more companies, the more people in a particular country that holds more of the keys, no pun intended, to technological advancement within their own country, I believe that country stands a better chance at surviving a technological war because of the decentralized nature of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. If that makes sense. I don't think that another world war is going to be a matter of everybody, lobbing nuclear missiles at each other, because there are so many countermeasures to nuclear missiles. Maybe you launch 50 of them and 5 of them actually get through and decimate cities. Okay, cool. You killed a bunch of innocent people. What did that do for you? It doesn't make any sense. China doesn't want to kill off America because they own half of it. Russia's like a technological powerhouse. I mean, with a lot of people, I mean, Russia's, if there's any country where I fear the individuals in it, it's Russia. Russians are just some bad mother effers, man. Like, I don't know. Like, I admire Russians. I really do. That's one of the reasons why my wife and I wanted to learn Russian. It's not easy to learn. There's just something about their coldness and their drive and their I don't know, man. Like Fedor Emelianenko, the Russian MMA fighter. He doesn't look like much, but he's cold as ice. And he just, man, you watch guys go head to head, they have a stare down before a fight. Emelianenko just walks up like he's going to a barbecue, and he can be staring in the eyes of some giant monstrosity just planning to kill him. And Emelianenko's just kind of like, I see a bunny over there. Like, he just doesn't give a shit. He's just like, I don't know. It's so hard to explain, but, to me, Russians are just, I don't know, man. Like, Russians are just badass. And it's like, I don't know that I would want to go to Russia, because from what I gather, it's really cold and you're either rich or poor in Russia. There's no in between. It's just a tough place. And to survive in a place like that is not easy. And, let's face it, you survive in a place like that, you got a badge already. So, but, and then North Korea, I don't know, they keep shooting like crappy missiles into the ocean. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't even know what sense I'm making. Vladimir Putin buying 1.8 million Bitcoin. I don't doubt it. They know what's up. They know what's up. Putin used Bitcoin instead of use. U.S. already attacking Venezuela with this electricity weapon. Interesting. That's why the West will go with XRP, because Korea and China, etc., has all the Bitcoin power. You know, and that's a weird thing for me. It's like, why doesn't Trump or somebody in the US, why doesn't Trump issue some sort of subsidy to a Bitcoin mining corporation? Why don't we launch a US based Bitcoin mining corporation underground, tightly controlled, and launch our own Bitcoin miners and just accumulate as many of them as possible? Like, I'm getting really deep into mining right now, and I'm about to partner with a mining company. And, you know, we don't have that much Bitcoin left to go. And once that last Bitcoin has been mined up, shit's going to hit the fan. I'm telling you. Things are going to get real freaking interesting the closer we get to the end of Bitcoin mining. We're at like 17.5 million now out of a total of 21 million. 1 million of those are being held in a wallet by Satoshi Nakamoto. Nobody even knows who the hell he is. And, 30% of that 17.5 million have been lost one way, shape, or form. By the time all is said and done, there might be 15 million Bitcoin that are actually in circulation out of a total of 21. And the closer we get, telling you what, that the Bitcoin it's just gonna go absolutely apeshit, and whoever holds the most, whoever can control the most, that is where I can see some wars taking place. And one EMP blast can take somebody out of the game. I would be interested in seeing like a futurist write a book about the next world war. And I would be willing to bet, mark my words on this, I would be willing to bet that the next big world war is going to be a financial, technological world war, and a lot of it is going to be based off of mining and decentralization. People shutting down the power, the mining, the hashing power of different countries, so that they can better control forks and this and that. I see it happening. That's what I see. I'm telling you. Mark my words. I think it's going to happen. One nuke exploded over Kansas will cause an EMP pulse that could cripple the U.S. Quite possibly. During a rally, Bitcoin or Ethereum are better trading pair with alts than USD because USD always holds the same dollar value, and ETH continue to rise in value, thereby continuing their gains. Right. Devo, sporting my new Crypto Crow shirt I got yesterday. Oh, that's cool. You gotta, anytime any of you guys that pick up one of those shirts off of Zazzle or something, you guys gotta post a picture in Telegram. Bitcoin breaking 52. It's at 5180. I think it's gonna keep going up though. Tinfoil hat chat. I love these. I don't think it's tinfoil hat chat. Man, my head feels like it's gonna pop. I haven't felt like this in a while. When I do lives for a long time and I just talk for a long time, I feel like pressure rises in my ears and my. You think Trump has anything to do with market manipulation? No, I don't. I don't think Trump even understands crypto. I really don't. And it's no offense to him. I just don't think he has a clue about it. Pro, did you catch the last Bitcoin to be mined works out to be in the year 2140? Yeah, I thought it was like 2150 or something like that. It's gonna be a while. And a lot's gonna happen between now and then. ETH moving up. I think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna see some pretty substantial movement here in the near future. But I think we are gonna have a big pullback. I just don't think it's gonna happen. This is a 4-hour chart, and RSI is just now tapping over the 70. On the day chart, it's in the 80s. It's at 87. It's crazy high on a day chart. Now, what's interesting is on a day chart, you know, if we were looking at things based off a tone base indicator, this chart here was a 9. And then we started a new 1, 2. So technically, this is based off a tone phase indicator. We should see a 1, 2, all the way up to a 9. 9 could take us up to like 5,500. It could take us up anywhere, really. But based off of this organic growth, could end up somewhere around 5,600. And then maybe at that point, we could see a huge dump, a nice correction back down. The thing about the TD indicator, man, is we can get another 1 right here. You know, like this could go down, this could drop. It's not going to, I don't think, but we could get a 1 and then start a downward trend instead. I mean, you just never know. It doesn't really start to mean much until we get to like 7, 8, and then things start really getting close to. Did you buy back in yet? Yeah, I did. I bought back in yesterday. I made a small little profit, but I went ahead and bought back in. I would love to see an MMORPG with crypto instead of gold. You know what I'm honestly shocked I haven't seen yet is I'm shocked that EVE Online. I feel like EVE Online is one of the big MMOs out there where it would make the most sense to utilize blockchain tech. And I can't believe they haven't done it yet. I don't know if they're working on it or what, but that would be brilliant if they did. Instead of ISK or whatever. Bitcoin is going to 10,000 soon. That'd be cool. Crow F you. Thank you, Chris A. Love you too. Crow, check out Bob Lucas and his 4-year market cycle. He has great insight on the way the Bitcoin market moves. You were originally planning on buying back in at 4,500. Yeah, that was when I was originally planning. But I like just watching everything, and the more sense I tried to make. The more sense I tried to make of the fact that the price shot up as high as it did so quickly, it just doesn't make sense for me to count on a big dump right this moment. I think it's coming, but I think the price, the way things are going, the price is probably going to get a little bit higher before we see that pullback. ENJ doing big things in blockchain gaming. Yeah, I've been seeing them popping up a lot lately. Cryptos chain. I spoke with Crypto Stash about this too. I think if a game like Pokemon or Dragon Ball Z would go to the blockchain, the whole market would be a game changer. Thanks to game. Yeah. Greetings from Romania. We must retreat 4K for a strong BTC. We'll see. Not FU Crow. The game Shaq made called Shaq FU. Make Crow F. Oh, Shaq Fu. I get it. I had a feeling you were cracking a joke of some kind. I just wasn't catching it. Guys, you couldn't make a game with Jason in it because if you scaled correctly to his size, it would look like George St. Pierre fighting Oompa Loompas. Oh boy. I can see stocks being tokenized where you can carry the coin stock in a wallet. Yeah, I definitely think that's going to happen. I think in the next 10 years, I don't think there's going to be like a NASDAQ, S&P. I think everything's going to be tokenized in one shape or form. I really do. BTC topped off at the 50 weekly EMA candle at 5269-ish. I don't think whales are intending to go above that the next few weeks. Trump definitely knows about crypto. Check out CKG's last video and see the executive order he signed. Plus, he's had meetings with people from Ripple. Okay. Who wouldn't pay to see Crow take on like 20 Oompa Loompas? Oh my God, you guys are terrible. 20 Oompa Loompas might get me. I'm at work repairing an engine and hanging out with my buddy Crow. Awesome. Nice, Nelson Tapia. Crow, what's going on with BCT? Oh my God, such a headache. Blockchain terminal. I don't know. I'm expecting to see a launch of this platform with another white label here this next coming week. From there, we'll see what I do. I don't know. Apparently, they've got like 6 other companies that are white labeling the blockchain terminal platform. Dubai, China, Malta, Australia. Basically, they've got a bunch of different companies wanting to do what I've been planning on doing, is white labeling the platform. It's changed a lot. Like, it's changed so much. And so I just saw another full demo of the platform less than a week ago. It's no longer working with Telegram, and I was kind of pissed about that. I'm like, why are you backsliding? When are you just going to launch this thing? You keep fucking it up. Like, I've been getting really frustrated. That's why people are like, why'd you take the videos down about blockchain? I'm like, cause I don't even know what the hell they're doing right now. Bo is a really difficult dude to like deal with sometimes. It's just some of the stuff he does makes no sense, and it's really frustrating. And I'm just tired of yelling at him. It's like, I don't really have any say. I mean, he tries to say I do, but I don't really have any real say in what's going on. And it's kind of, every time he'll be like, I'm like, is this thing launching or what? Like, when are you going to stop working in circles? What is happening? And he's like, I'm going to show you. I'll show you tomorrow night. And then you be the judge if it's ready to go live. And then I'll see it. And then I'm like, okay, like, so when is this going to be ready? You know what I mean? It's just, that's why I don't talk about it all the time, because I don't know 100%. I'll know when I see it live. I told him, I was like, I'll let one of these other white labels launch it first. I want to see it live trading. I want to see it working before I really start supporting it and I start going in and talking about it on a regular basis. Because it's like, as of right now, I'm talking about vaporware, and I'm not saying that it is vaporware, but until I see it live trading, I don't even give a shit anymore. It's like, show me this thing working. And that's where I'm at. That's what's going on. Blunt as I can be. It's time for a Crow Health segment. I got a cold. That's it. Hanging with Crow, but should be working on my truck. Crow, what do you think is happening with Sun contract? That's a good question. I don't even remember what the hell Sun contract was for. Wasn't that like a Power Ledger competitor or something? I can't remember. It's been so long. What are your thoughts on VR crypto applications, projects like Mana and 3DC? I love VR. And I know that there are quite a few. I know one of these companies, I have to go back. It might have been Mana. I can't remember. They promised me a big crypto crow statue, an augmented reality crypto crow statue in the middle of Fountain Square. I don't know if I'll ever see it, but I haven't forgotten. You're always sick. You need to go to the doctor. I'm not always sick. I haven't been sick with anything in quite a while. I've actually been doing really good, but my wife had some cold that lasted like 2 weeks, drove us both crazy because she kept waking me up in the middle of the night coughing. And I thought I escaped it because she had been getting a lot better. And then all of a sudden I started getting a little tickle in my throat and a runny nose. And I'm like, great. So I get something else to work on. But typically I'm not really sick very often at all. What's the advantage to a 4-hour chart opposed to, say, like a 5 or 1 minute? I mean, it depends on what you're trying to do. So a day chart, a lot of crypto traders trade on a 4-hour chart. So a lot of crypto guys, they're working from a 4-hour chart. And because of that, I try to work on a 4-hour chart because like if I'm going to be making trades or I see signals or something like that, likely the majority of other people trading crypto using a 4-hour chart are going to be reacting to the same stuff I'm reacting to. Going lower, going to a 5-minute chart, like a lot of day traders use 5-minute charts because they want to get in, get out, take little profits. They're trading sizable sums, so even like a quarter point or a point swing in either direction based off of what they're trying to do, if they're able to make get in and out multiple times using bulk orders with high liquidity, they're making profit all day. Rather than working for $8 an hour, they could be making, 20 grand an hour, depending on the volume they're trading over a 5-minute chart schedule. Like, as you can see, these signals: sell, buy, sell, buy, sell, buy. Like if you're scalping trades, like this market guided indicator could prove very valuable. That's why. And what a lot of people do is maybe you're looking at a 4-hour chart and you're kind of getting an estimation as to what's coming, what's going to happen with price action. You're trying to make some predictions. But you want to make sure the more of these chart time frames, whether it's a day, a week, an hour, or 5 minutes, the more they all say the same thing on different time periods, the more accurate you're likely going to end up being. So, and sometimes if you're looking at a 4-hour and you're like, I see the price going up, but you're not going to see the candles move on a 4-hour the way they will on like a 5-minute. And so, I don't want to wait a full 4 hours for this candle to conclude. So I'm going to look at a lower number. I'm going to look at a 30-minute or a 5-minute and kind of get an idea, almost like I'm seeing a little bit into the future as to what's going to happen. That's really the difference. No, I haven't used 3 commas. I don't know anything about that, I don't think. And you can lose 20K too. Absolutely. Anytime you're trading, you're going to lose. You want your gains to outweigh your losses. Crypto's chain had that type of cough too and gave it to the whole family. It's horrible. The reason people say you're sick is probably because you look really sad, maybe due to the state of the market. No, it's just because I've been staying up really late. And I've really been enjoying just coming down into my space, my man cave, if you will, my crypto cave, my crow's nest. And I watch videos. I've been watching a lot of technical indicator videos, instructional videos, learning about different indicators, learning how they can work and support each other. Here's a little dump on a 5-minute. And I just like, I've really just been enjoying my time down here by myself, learning. It's really difficult to do, and you've got animals and kids and everybody just, nagging for attention. So when everybody goes to sleep, I come down here and I do. Pro, take a minute and check out the 50, 100, 200 EMA on a weekly. It provides the best clarity right now. I have. I'll pull it up in a future video. I think for now, I'm going to go ahead, and it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I need to go eat. I need my first meal of the day, folks. I don't even know how long I've been on. How long have I been on? I don't know. I don't even have a clue how many people have been watching. I don't know what's been. 225 people. Oh, so I've been on for an hour and 19 minutes. So much FUD in this space. I laugh. A lot of FUD. There's a lot of positive stuff too. Crow looks like he just drank a gallon of NyQuil. I'm totally fine. Honestly, I'm tired. I'm a little tired, but that's about it. All right, guys, I'm going to call it here. Look, I don't expect anything to happen here in the immediate. I mean, anything could happen. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. I don't really know either way, but just looking at everything right now, everything is pointing to more bullish sentiment. And, if we range and uptick, that's entirely possible from here on out. Will that be the case? I doubt it, but watch the RSI. When the RSI is severely overbought across all time frames, that's when I'm going to believe we're going to see a correction. So until then, I'll keep updating as best I can, and I'll see you guys real soon. Thanks for joining me, guys. Grow your coins.